What is going on, guys, and welcome to my 2021 Dream Setup Tour. This is my first video of this kind, so please bear with me. But anyways, thank you so much for even clicking on this video and taking the time out of your day to watch it. I really do enjoy you being here, so I'm not going to waste any time. Let's just get straight into the PC. Okay, so starting off with the PC would obviously be the case, which is the Lian PCO11 Dynamic. Very mainstream case, trust me, I know. But if I'm being honest here, I really just like how this case looks. I have not seen another case with the glass panel on the front and the side that also happens to maintain decent airflow. And I mean, you gotta admit it. The case just looks good. Next would be the processor, which I already have a feeling I'm gonna get some backlash in the comments for this. It is the Intel i9-10900K. It's a 10 core, 3.7 gigahertz. I have it overclocked to 5 gigahertz fixed. And look, trust me, I have nothing against AMD. The processor I had before this was actually an AMD. I just wanted to go with an Intel, purely just because I hadn't used Intel before. I know this one may not be as good as AMD, but you know what? For what I'm using it for, it's more than enough. Next would be the motherboard, which is the MSI MPG Z490 Gaming Carbon Wi-Fi. Whew, long name. This one is mostly for aesthetics. It does have all the features that I wanted. It has everything, but I love the look of carbon fiber. If you watched my last video, you saw my Oculus Quest 2. I got the carbon fiber decals on it. It's just been something I've liked for a really long time, and MSI also happens to be the brand of my previous motherboard and my other build, so figured this one was a safe bet. It was an upgrade for me because it has two M.2 slots on it, which is awesome, and it actually has RGB. So yeah, no complaints about this motherboard, no problems so far. Now to cool the i9-10900K, which is known to be a freaking toaster, I have the Corsair H150i Pro XT. I wanted a 360mm radiator, not necessarily an AIO, but as I'm sure you know if you're watching this video, custom loops are not cheap. And I just wanted to eliminate the risk of screwing anything up. Trust me, I will eventually do a build with a custom loop, but for now, the H150i keeps the i9 in check, and the water block is also pretty cool, the RGB, and mostly all the peripherals and everything are Corsair anyway, so kind of just made sense to me. The power supply that I went for this build is the ThermalTake GF1 850 watt Gold Plus. So long story actually about this. So when I was finally able to get my GPU and the PC up and running, I had a 650 watt EVGA power supply. My PC kept getting blue screens. I should have known that was the issue from the start, not enough power, but I just didn't want to believe it because there was a ton of videos saying, oh, my GPU is able to run off of 650 easily. Some people said 750. Well, needless to say, that was not the case for me, but once I did order this power supply, fixed the issue instantly. So, good power supply, had good reviews, no complaints. So for storage, I actually went with two M.2s from Western Digital, the SN750s. I have one terabyte, which is right here, and then I also have a 500 gigabyte as well. Now this just gives me a ton of room for expandability because I have a ton of SATA ports, and if I ever want to add a SATA SSD into the mix, that'll be fine. It won't really add any extra clutter because it'd only be 2 wires that I would be adding to the build. So these are great read and write speeds, super fast, no issues with them at all. Now for the RAM, like I said, I was kind of sticking with the Corsair theme. I've used Corsair for a while. I trust them. I like the aesthetics of their parts. I went with the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. Originally, I had two 8GB sticks. Eventually ended up upgrading to 4 8GB sticks because I realized if I'm gonna go the whole 9 yards, then I might as well just go all in on the RAM as well. I realized 32GB isn't exactly a large amount nowadays, but it's much better than 16, which is what I had, and they also just look really cool as well. So yeah, I love this RAM. Now for the Mac Daddy of the build, the RTX 3080 for the Win 3 Ultra Gaming. This took a while to get. I mean a while to get. I actually have a video, if you want to go check it out, on how I got this card and how you can get this card or any other 30 series card. Just keep in mind it takes time, but my setup is just proof that if you have patience, you can eventually get a 30 series card. I thought I wasn't going to get one. I got lucky. I love the card. I mean, it runs everything that I need it to. Any game on the Quest 2 that I want to run with virtual desktop, I can just max it out, no problems. It stays really cool. I did change the thermal paste on it to the Cryonaut, which definitely made a difference, but even before that, it still had really good thermals, and I also love the option to boost to 450 watts in the BIOS, or you can flash the BIOS to the 450 watts, so you can even get more overclocking potential out of it. This is a card that I would definitely want to run a loop on, and in the future that may end up happening. But yeah, this card looks awesome. I haven't had any issues with it. Was skeptical from some of the reviews, but needless to say, it's an amazing card. Now for my fans, I have 3 Corsair QL120s. Cool looking fans. The main reason I got it is because I wanted to have 3 fans as intake on the bottom of the case, but you could still see the RGB rings on the top, so it was still exposed. So that's the main reason that I actually went with these, and so far they've been great. And I ended up pairing them with the 6 LL120s that I have on the top and side of the case as exhaust. Love these as well. I really just wanted the RGB light ring kind of on every side of the case. So like I said, that's why I added the QLs in there as well. But I like the fans. I can control them in IQ along with all the other Corsair components that I have, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, nothing really bad to say about these. For the cable extensions, I use the Fantech cable extensions. So I actually needed a couple extra cables, so I ordered some individually as well because I have 3 of them for the 3080, and then I needed 2 of them for the CPU power inputs because I did want to overclock the CPU, so I ended up putting both plugs into there, and obviously it came with the 24 pin, so there was really no issue there. But yeah, these look cool. Haven't had any issues with them. Some people talk about blue screens and random problems, but so far they've been fine. So now we are moving on to peripherals, which I'm just going to start off with the keyboard, which is the Corsair K70 MK2 low profile. There is a non-low profile version of this keyboard, but if I'm being honest here, I just went to Best Buy looking for a better keyboard. I saw this one, they had it on display, I tested it. I liked that it was clicky, but not too obnoxious. So that was kind of the deciding factor for me, alongside with the fact that it's Corsair and it looked really cool with the brushed metal finish. So yeah, that's kind of what led me to buying this keyboard. The mouse I have is a Corsair Dark Core Pro. RGB Pro. So originally I actually had a Corsair M65, which was a great mouse, but it was corded. I didn't want to have a corded keyboard and then a corded mouse as well, so I ended up just going with this one. Also saw it at Best Buy, read a couple reviews. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm glad that I did. Ton of customizable features on this mouse. I don't actually use the RGB because I want the battery life to be as long as possible. But the cool part about it is the dongle that comes on the mouse to actually enable the Bluetooth. You can plug it into the back of some Corsair keyboards because they have a USB pass-through, which is pretty cool because you never have to worry about connectivity issues because the dongle is literally right there. I mean, I'm assuming you use your mouse next to your keyboard, but yeah, pretty legit. The webcam that I am using right now is the Logitech C922X Pro, 1080p, 30 FPS. Not really much to say here. It's a good webcam. It actually performs surprisingly well in low light, as you can see. It was $100, which wasn't too bad. I wanted a 1440, but they just had too many iffy reviews on them for me to actually get one. So yeah, it's a good webcam. The headset was a kind of difficult decision for me, so much so that I actually went with a Corsair HS70 Pro before this, which was a good headset, it really was, but I wanted better surround sound and I wanted more I wanted to be able to customize it more. So I ended up going with this one, the Astro A50 Gen 4. Sounds amazing, but I will say, if you get the Dolby Atmos subscription with the headset, it makes all the difference. You're just able to push the clarity so much more because they sounded pretty muddy out of the box, but after adjusting the EQ and turning on Dolby Atmos and adjusting the EQ in there as well, they're perfect for me. And I'm a person that loves car audio and basically any type of high quality audio, so trust me when I say the Dolby Atmos makes a ginormous difference. But yeah, amazing headset. The mouse pad, not much to say. It's just a Corsair extended mouse pad. It's spill proof. I don't know what that means. I mean, I guess that, oh, well, I guess it says it right here, it just slides off the surface. I didn't know if they meant waterproof, but just didn't put it. But yeah, not much to say about it. I like how it looked. It was long enough. So yeah, cool mouse pad. So the mic is the Razer Siren Mini. I actually plan to upgrade this in the future. It was kind of just something that would get me by in the meantime. I threw it on a cheap Amazon boom arm, so I'm not even gonna link that because if I'm being honest, it's really cheap. It's not trash, but I don't know if I would recommend it to anyone. But I do have plans to get a Shure or Audio-Technica microphone, but as you can hear, this is actually a surprisingly good microphone for only $50. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're on a budget, because the effects that you can put on it in post are pretty good. Out the box, it sounds really tinny, but once you mess with it a little bit, and there's a ton of videos on this, really good for $50. That's all I can say. So I should have mentioned this earlier, but in the case, I have the Corsair Lighting Node Pro RGB strips. I actually have two of these kits, one of them for the inside of the case, and then one of them for the back of my monitor. I actually have a wire running out the back of my case connecting to the monitor so I can sync all of them together. Haven't had an issue with these yet, but I have heard that over time they can stop responding to IQ, so by all means, if something like that happens, I'll post an update on it. But they look amazing. I love that they're magnetic, so you don't have to put adhesive and worry about it peeling off, or once you stick it once, that's done. So yeah, good LED strips. And lastly in the setup would be, and here we have the Corsair Commander Pro, which is basically just an RGB and fan hub for your Corsair components. I can't even lie, this is definitely just a money grab for Corsair because they realize that if they make some of their products incompatible, then if they offer something that can fix that problem, then if you like their products enough, you'll buy it. So I bought it, and it does the job. I have my QL120s and my LL120s on here. It does what I need it to do. It also comes with some temperature sensors, which is pretty cool. But the main part that I needed for it was actually the USB hub, because if you're gonna have two different kinds of fans with a Corsair radiator, then you have to have 3 USB ports total, or in some situations 4, but most motherboards only come with 2. So that solved the problem for me. But I mean, it does what it's advertised to do. That's all I can really say about it. So the monitor will be a Dell 32-inch curved 1440p FreeSync. I'll be honest, I am really impressed with this monitor as far as the color accuracy goes and just the refresh rate. And when I say that, you have to realize I come from a monitor that was 60 hertz, 24 inches, absolute garbage. So whenever I booted this thing on and got it hooked up, ran my first game on it, it was like night and day. I could never go back to a low refresh rate monitor, which is honestly probably a con of high refresh rate monitors, because anytime I look at any other monitor that's lower than 144, it's like, ugh, get that out of my face. So, but no, I really do like the monitor. The curve is super gradual, so you almost don't notice it, but you do, because I've had people that don't really like curved monitors use it and they can't even tell. So great color accuracy. The G-Sync with my card works amazing on here. I haven't noticed any instances of screen tearing or anything like that. So yeah, I absolutely love this monitor. Lastly is my soundbar that I have underneath my monitor, which is an LG SK1. It's just a simple 2-speaker soundbar that has Bluetooth connectivity. I mainly use it for listening to music, or if I don't want to put on headphones, I'll play it through there. Again, I'm able to use Dolby Atmos with this soundbar, so I'm able to adjust the EQ of it, get it to sound exactly how I want. So in reality, out of the box, it's not the best sounding soundbar. It's not bad by any means, it's just not amazing, but it's a soundbar, that's all I can say. I have a fiber optic cable hooked up to it, so I can switch between my TV and my PC. I can even connect to my phone if I want to. So yeah, it's a good soundbar. Alright guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to even click on my channel or click on my video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Anyways, have a great day guys. I will see you in the next one.